I'm Malcolm Kelly. Welcome to the National Bible Society. Today we're going to talk about powers of mind, and we begin by saying, I am awake. I am awake. I can see clearly what's happening in my life. That's what we're going to begin with. And it piggybacks off of the second principle of the National Bible Society. I acknowledge that my beliefs and values are responsible for creating the conditions in my life. I acknowledge that my beliefs and values are responsible for creating the conditions in my life. What does that mean? We talked the last time about beliefs and values. So go over them again for you very briefly. First, we get our beliefs from our parents, from society, and from our life experiences. Once we have developed our minds into a person, we become this person through the evolution of our beliefs and values. And as we become this person, we hold on to what our parents have taught us about society, and about our life, I should say. And then when we are in the school, society shapes us into being able to function and become like everyone else in the society. And then we become recognizable by our friends, our peers, and so forth. What we're talking about with powers of mind is not to judge your parents and society and your experiences. That's not what this is about. So that you're unwilling to look and examine and understand the development of the mind because you're afraid you're going to offend your parents or whoever your guardians were that raised you or taught you your beliefs and values. No. What I'm talking about is understanding how your mind became the way that it is. And that understanding allows you to escape or transform your mind so that you are no longer tied to the beliefs and values that others taught you. In other words, it's a rebirthing process of the mind, where we're going to go from one person who have been conditioned to think of themselves as powerless. And this applies to everyone. See, some people think that what I'm talking about applies only to a group of people. Being powerless applies to everyone in this society. Because when you feel that you want to do something and you don't have the power to do it, then you're powerless. And that could be in many types of different situations. It could be in relationships, it can be in health issues, addiction issues, and so forth. Now, how do our beliefs and values create all of this confusion in our lives? Well, it's because we're not being mindful of the decisions we're making when we engage in activities with other people. When we buy the car, when we buy the home, when we buy something else, then we're doing it because we want to be happy. We desire happiness. We believe things outside of us will produce us happiness. Unfortunately, for most of us, it creates suffering. It creates anger. It creates resentment. We begin then to blame other people for the decisions that we willfully engaged in ourselves. We did it ourselves. We went out and bought something and we forgot that we may have something catastrophic happen to us. We could lose our jobs. What happens then? Well, we're not able to make the payments. Well, we know what the consequences of those types of actions produce. What we want to understand here today is that when we can say to ourselves, I am awake, I am mindful, I understand what I'm doing in my life. I acknowledge today that my beliefs and values created the nightmare in my life. Now, this nightmare that I'm talking about is when we begin to feel that our lives are not going the way that they should. Now, think about this for a minute. A lot of people in this world, particularly in the country where I'm living, they go and search for things each week. that's going to make them feel good about themselves. And when we're feeling not so well about ourselves, not so good about ourselves, what do? We search outside of ourselves for some answer from some person or for something. What is powers of mind? Powers of mind is enlightenment. Powers of mind is a tool that we use in order to clear our mind or transform our mind of the toxic beliefs and values that we had developed through our evolution as children up to adults, the adults we are today. In other words, we want to be in this world, but we don't want to be born of this world. That means we want to live in the world, but we are not attached to the toxic beliefs and values of this world. We walk among others, but we can see. We can see clearly where we're walking. We can clearly see what's happening around us. And with this clarity, we're able to transform our lives into the people that we desire to be. So I ask you to go to the National Bias Society. Check it out for yourself. Go to www.nationalbiassociety.org. Go to www.nationalbiassociety.org. And as you go, say, I am enlightened. I am powerful. I have within me the limitless power to transform my mind. I am free of the toxic beliefs and values that others have taught me to believe in. I have worth. I am worthy of being enlightened. I am worthy of being an enlightened person. And with that worthiness, I revalue myself with power. And I ask you, www.nationalbiassociety.org, and check it out and see what you think. I'm Malcolm Kelly. Until next time, have a great day.